This is our last question, and we're going to start with Dwayne Thompson. What is your plan to reform Social Security so that it remains viable for future generations?
Well, with those cans, we've been kicking down the road for 35 years. And I'm going to tell you right now, goodness sakes, those we've been kicking cans for 35 years. They're not going to fix the problem. How in the world can you come out, and we'll get to your question, but how can you come out and have a payroll tax reduction? Are you kidding me? I thought we had a problem in that area. So who's the genius behind that? And then we have all of our representatives vote to pass it through? Something's not right. As far as the Social Security, here's my question to you. Instead of you asking me what I want to do, I want to ask you what you want to do. Do you want to leave your money in the hands of the government? Have we not had enough proof that we can't have the Faughts guard the hen house anymore? What do you want to do? I say get it out of their hands. Do not let them be in charge of your money. Government is not good with money. So we keep asking the question, what are you going to do about Social Security? What are you going to do about Social Security? There's going to have to be some things. There's going to be some type of transition to get it out of their hands. And I haven't crunched the numbers. Have those number crunchers crunch the numbers. So we say, okay, for those of us that's paid in for X number of years, where does that drop off at? Because you're probably going to increase your retirement age. Yes, we're living longer. And I know guys like me, we had these numbers painted in our heads for all these years. That's going to increase. But in the long run, I say let's come up with a plan to get that out of their hands. Do not leave that in there. It's been in there for how many years? And it's never been right, ever since we gave them all that money. And I think as Wayne or someone said earlier, Clinton didn't balance the budget. He used the Social Security funds to bring them to the general fund. They've always stole from it, and they always will, because we can't leave it in their hands.
Dakota Wood.
Needs to be replaced. Those that are vested in a certain, and probably the median curve is probably 55 or 60, 55 years old. My dad's 74. He's been working his entire life and he's paid into the system. It's his money. It's not the government's money. There's been an agreement made with generations of Americans. Again, I work in the world of reality. The system is what it is, but the system is not sustainable for the foreseeable. So I think it needs to go from a defined benefit plan to a defined contribution plan, something like a 401k, something along those lines. So for younger generations, myself included, it needs to be shifted into a different model where we have fewer workers supporting an aging population. So baby boomers move into that age group where they're drawing down money that they have put into that system and living longer so that they're actually drawing more money than they ever paid in during a lifetime. It's just not economically viable. You just can't keep that going. So we're at a stage in our country's history, the national and global financial system the way it is, and the debt load that we're dealing with, it has to change. Again, I think that there is a knee in the curve where at a given age, people can be sustained with the fund that currently exists, and for the younger generations, a new model is required. Again, defined contribution plan, potentially different options, paying in a certain amount with a certain benefit out of that. That kind of study needs to occur, and something that I would sponsor and push through as a member of Congress.
Thank you. Dustin Rowe.
Social Security was created in 1935 as part of FDR's New Deal legislation to help get us out of the Great Depression. It's nearly 80 years old, but it has been piled on to generation after generation. In the 1960s, during the Great Society legislation that LBJ sponsored, Social Security was enlarged significantly. Social Security is a word that many people think that's the benefits you get when you retire. That's not what it is. That is part of what it is. Social Security now provides SSI, SSDI, it's Title II, it's Title 16. It's largely, there's a large portion of its welfare. People that have not paid in anything can draw through SSI. It has grown well beyond what it was ever intended to be, and it's continuing to grow. We have a number of generations of Americans today trying to get on disability. When you hear someone on disability, that's part of the Social Security Administration. They're using our money to pay for that. So I think we need to understand, number one, what it is. Number two, what should it be? Social Security should be a program for the most vulnerable in society, those that really need it, and it should be there for those of us who have paid in when we get eligible to retire. Those are the two things it should be. And how do we make it those two things? Number one, it's got to be shrunk down. The benefits are going to be shrunk down for people that haven't paid into it. And secondly, we're going to have to look at the long-term viability of it. In 13 years, in the year 2025, every penny of our federal budget will be consumed by Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and interest on the national debt. We're 13 years away from that. So Social Security will have to be restructured, and it's not going to be something that's going to be pleasant for the American people. People like me, I'm 36 years old, I'm not going to be able to get it when I'm 65. It may not be there when I'm 70 or 75 at the rate we're going, but that's the reality. We're going to have to look and make it work for what it was meant to be. And so those decisions are going to be tough, but we have to have members of Congress that will stand up and make those decisions. I do not support making it a private pay and a 401k or a private investment program. The last thing I want my government to do is take control of my 401k. On my private dollars, I want to invest in myself, and I do not want the government involved in that. Thank you.
Dwayne Pettigrew.
Thank you. You got your mail today. You have a mail piece from me that talks about the Pettigrew plan, and one of the issues that we address in that is entitlement reform and Social Security. If you didn't get that, it's probably on your chair. But I do have a little bit of expertise in this area. I served as a pension specialist for a Prudential Insurance Company, dealt with the actuarial numbers and that sort of thing for pension plans for 9 years. And then when I served in the Oklahoma House of Representatives, I dealt with all the pension plans. Ran a number of reform measures. Democrats would not allow us in the minority to pass any of those measures. The day I left the Oklahoma House of Representatives, I took about 4 boxes of reform measures, documentation, everything, and gave it to a young man by the name of Randy McDaniel. And he has now passed 5 of those 6 bills. The one bill he has not passed is the DC plan, the defined contribution plan, but he's done an excellent job. What I would tell you is that we've got to do reform. And if you read my plan, basically I have run some actuarial numbers on this. And the point is the system as it is now cannot exist. First of all, we need to pay the money back that's been stolen out of it. I think we all agree with that. But as it's defined right now, it cannot exist. Why? Because it's grown too large. It encompasses many other programs, as Dustin pointed out, SSI and those things like that, that were not part of the original plan and they've not been actuarially adjusted for. We are going to have to raise the rate, or the age limit, for those of us that are younger than 55 if we're going to save Social Security. But I will tell you, I do oppose one of the things that the Democrats have pointed out and tried to propose as a method of fixing it, and that's means testing. If you hear means testing, run. Means testing means that if you have accounted for your retirement in other ways, you don't get your Social Security. Sorry, that's what they mean. So run from means testing, but there are ways to have it done to fix it. It pushes out that number to about 30 years, and then if we actually pay back the trust funds, we could make it solvent as is, but it will take a number of years before we can make that solvent again. And again, paying back the trust funds is the key part of that.